Have you been learning English for months, maybe even years, but still struggle to speak? You know grammar. You understand many English words. You watch English videos. You save vocabulary lists. You download language learning apps. And sometimes you even tell yourself, I know English. But when someone suddenly speaks to you in English, your mind goes blank. You know what you want to say, but you cannot find the words quickly enough. You start translating. You become nervous. You think about grammar. And before you can finish one sentence, the conversation has already moved on. If that sounds familiar, this video is for you. Because today, I want to tell you something that can completely change the way you learn English. You don't need to spend all your free time studying English. You need to spend your time using English correctly. Listen more. Speak more. Repeat more. And stop wasting hours on activities that make you feel productive, but don't actually train you to communicate. Research in second language learning supports an important idea. Listening provides valuable language input, while producing language gives learners opportunities to notice problems, test what they know, and develop more automatic speech. And recent research also suggests that audiovisual input can support multiple areas of second language learning, including vocabulary, pronunciation, listening, and speaking. So, if your goal is to speak English fluently, let's stop treating English like a school subject and start treating it like a skill. Part 1. Stop wasting your time. Imagine two people. Person A studies English grammar for 2 hours every day. They memorize rules. They complete exercises. They underline difficult words. They watch grammar lessons. But they almost never speak. Person B spends 30 minutes listening to English and 30 minutes speaking. They make mistakes. They repeat sentences. They describe their day. They talk to themselves. They imitate native speakers. They listen to conversations and try to reproduce them. After several months, who is more likely to feel comfortable speaking? Of course, many factors matter. But the important principle is simple. The skill you practice is the skill you improve. If you only study English, you become better at studying English. If you regularly listen to English, you become better at understanding English. If you regularly speak English, you become better at producing English. And if you combine listening and speaking, you begin training the exact system you need for real conversations. This is why one of the biggest mistakes English learners make is spending too much time preparing to speak. Instead of actually speaking, they keep telling themselves, I'll speak when my grammar improves. I'll speak when I learn more vocabulary. I'll speak when my pronunciation is perfect. I'll speak when I become confident. But confidence usually doesn't come before practice. Confidence is often a result of practice. You don't wait to become confident before speaking. You speak and gradually become confident because you have spoken many times. So from today, remember this. Don't wait until you're ready. Use English while you're still learning. Part 2, LISTNING, is your first training ground. Before you can speak English naturally, your brain needs a large amount of experience with English. Think about a child learning their first language. A child doesn't begin by memorizing grammar rules. They listen. They hear the same words again and again. They hear questions. They hear answers. They hear emotions. They hear pronunciation. They hear sentence patterns. They slowly connect sounds with meaning. And eventually, they begin producing language. You don't need to copy everything about childhood language learning. Adults learn differently, and deliberate practice is extremely useful. But there is one lesson worth remembering. Your brain needs exposure to the language you want to produce. That's why listening should become part of your daily routine. But there is a problem. Many learners listen to English in the wrong way. They choose something far too difficult. They understand almost nothing. They pause every 5 seconds. They translate every sentence. They look up every unfamiliar word. And after 10 minutes, they are exhausted. That's not the kind of listening practice I want you to build your life around. Instead, choose content that is interesting and understandable enough to follow. You don't need to understand every single word. You need to understand the message. If someone says, "I woke up late this morning, so I skipped breakfast and rushed to work," you don't need to analyze every grammatical structure. You simply understand. The person woke up late. They didn't eat breakfast. They hurried to work. That's enough. Your goal is not to become a walking dictionary. Your goal is to train your brain to understand English without constantly translating. Part 3. Listen to the same English more than once. Here's a simple technique you can start today. Choose a short English video. Maybe 3 to 5 minutes. The topic should be something you actually enjoy. Travel, technology, football, movies, business, fitness, relationships, self-improvement, anything. Now listen to it 3 times. The first time, just listen. Don't stop. Don't worry about every word. Focus on the meaning. The second time, listen more carefully. Notice expressions. Notice pronunciation. Notice how words connect. The third time, speak along with the speaker. This third step is powerful because you're no longer just hearing English. You're trying to produce the sound yourself. This technique is often called shadowing. You listen to a speaker and imitate their speech as closely as you can. Their rhythm, their pronunciation, their pauses, their intonation, their speed. You don't need to sound exactly like them. You're training your mouth and brain to work together. And remember, don't shadow something that is impossibly difficult. Choose speech you can mostly follow. Start slowly, then gradually increase difficulty. Part 4. Speak before you feel ready. Now we reach the part many learners avoid. Speaking. You might say, "But I don't have anyone to practice with." That's a real problem. But it doesn't mean you have to stay silent. You can start alone. Yes, talk to yourself in English. And no, you're not being weird. You're training. Look around your room. Describe what you see. I'm sitting on my bed. There is a phone next to me. My room is a little messy today. I'm feeling tired. I'm going to make some tea. Simple sentences are perfect. Because fluency is not built from impressive sentences. It's built from accessible sentences that you can produce automatically. Then move to the next level. Talk about your day. For example, today I woke up at 7. I had breakfast. Then I went to work. I had a busy afternoon. I came home in the evening. I watched a video. And now I'm practicing English. Does that sound too simple? Good. That's exactly why it works. You're training your brain to retrieve English quickly. Research on language output has highlighted that producing language can help learners notice gaps in what they know and test their assumptions about the language. So when you speak and suddenly think, "Wait, how do I say this?" that moment is not failure. That moment is training. You have just discovered something your brain needs to learn. Part 5. Stop TRNSLATNG everything. Now let's talk about one of the biggest obstacles to fluent speaking. Translation. You think in your native language. You create the sentence. Then you translate it into English. Then you check the grammar. Then you speak. That's incredibly slow. Imagine someone asks you, "What did you do yesterday?" Instead of simply answering, your brain starts. Yesterday means, what did I do? I went. How do I say that? By the time you construct the sentence, the conversation feels stressful. So what should you do? Start thinking in small English chunks. Don't try to translate your entire life into English. Build direct connections. Instead of learning, "I am feeling extremely tired because I didn't sleep well last night." As one giant sentence. Start with chunks. "I'm tired. I didn't sleep well. I'm really exhausted. Give me a minute. I need some rest." These phrases become useful building blocks. And the more you hear and use them, the easier they become to retrieve. This is one reason repeated exposure and repeated production matter. The goal is to move from thinking about English to using English. Part 6. Learn phrases, not just words. Here's another mistake. You learn vocabulary like this: beautiful, improve, decision, opportunity, experience, confidence, environment. These words are useful. But knowing individual words doesn't automatically mean you can use them naturally in conversation. Instead, learn them inside phrases. Don't just learn. Decision. Learn. Make a decision. That's a difficult decision. I haven't made a decision yet. What's your decision? Don't just learn. Experience. Learn. I have experience in. It was a great experience. I've never experienced that before. Now you're not memorizing isolated vocabulary. You're learning ready-to-use language. This makes speaking easier because real conversations are not built word by word. They are built from familiar patterns and combinations. So whenever you hear a useful phrase, don't just understand it. Steal it. Not someone else's identity. Not their personality. Their language. Take useful expressions and make them part of your own English. Part 7. The 30-minute English routine. Now let me give you a simple routine. You don't need 5 hours. You don't need 10 apps. You don't need 20 notebooks. Start with 30 focused minutes. First, 10 minutes of listening. Choose understandable English. Listen without constantly stopping. Focus on meaning. Second, 10 minutes of speaking. Talk about the same topic. If you listen to a video about travel, talk about travel. If you listen to a video about fitness, talk about fitness. If you watched a story, retell the story in your own words. Third, 10 minutes of imitation and repetition. Choose 5 to 10 useful sentences. Listen. Repeat. Listen again. Repeat again. Then try saying them without the audio. That's it. 30 minutes. Every day. And here's the important part. Don't obsess over making every session perfect. Consistency beats intensity. 30 minutes today. 30 minutes tomorrow. 30 minutes the day after. That's how you build momentum. Part 8. Use the listen, repeat, speak method. Let's make this even simpler. Remember 3 words. Listen. Repeat. Speak. Listen to a sentence. I've been working on my English for several months. Repeat it. I've been working on my English for several months. Again. I've been working on my English for several months. Now change it. I've been working on my pronunciation for several months. I've been working on my speaking skills for several months. I've been working on my confidence for several months. Now create your own sentence. I've been working on my English every day. This tiny exercise contains something important. You're not simply memorizing. You're listening. You're producing. You're modifying. You're creating. That's active learning. And research on output-based language practice supports the idea that meaningful production can contribute to second language development, rather than treating speaking as merely a final test of knowledge. Part 9. Don't be afraid of mistakes. There's another reason people don't speak. They are terrified of making mistakes. They think, what if my grammar is wrong? What if my accent sounds strange? What if someone laughs? What if people think I'm stupid? Listen carefully. You will make mistakes. Everyone learning a language makes mistakes. And mistakes are not proof that you're bad at English. They're evidence that you're using English. Imagine learning to ride a bicycle. Would you sit on the bicycle for 6 months studying balance before moving? No. You get on. You wobble. You make mistakes. You adjust. You try again. Language works differently, of course, but the principle of skill development remains useful. Practice requires imperfect attempts. So don't ask, how can I speak English without making mistakes? Ask, how can I make mistakes and improve faster? That's a much better question. Part 10. Make English part of your life. Here's the biggest shift I want you to make. Stop thinking, I'm going to study English from 7:00 to 8:00. Instead think, English is part of my day. Listen to English while walking. Listen while cooking. Watch English videos during your free time. Describe what you're doing in English. Think about simple things in English. Write short messages in English. Speak to yourself in English. Retell stories. Explain your opinions. Record your voice. Then listen back. You don't need to turn every minute of your life into a classroom. You simply need to create more English moments. And those moments add up. 10 minutes here. 5 minutes there. 20 minutes later. A conversation at night. A video in the morning. A few sentences while you're walking. Suddenly, English is no longer something you only study. It's something you use. Part 11. Record yourself. Here's a technique that almost nobody enjoys at first. Record your voice. Take your phone. Open the voice recorder. Choose a topic. And speak for 2 minutes. For example, today I want to talk about my goals. Then speak. Don't stop every time you make a mistake. Keep going. After 2 minutes, stop. Now listen. You'll probably notice things you didn't notice while speaking. Maybe you speak too slowly. Maybe you repeat the same words. Maybe you say too often. Maybe some sentences are unclear. Maybe your pronunciation needs work. Excellent. Now you know what to practice. Next week, record the same topic again. You may be surprised, because improvement is difficult to feel day by day. But recordings make progress visible. Your old voice becomes evidence of how far you've come. Part 12. Use AI, but don't let AI speak for you. Today, technology gives English learners something previous generations didn't have. You can practice conversations almost any time. You can ask AI to give you questions. You can ask it to correct your sentences. You can practice interviews. You can role-play conversations. You can ask for pronunciation feedback. But remember one thing. Don't let AI do the speaking for you. If you spend 30 minutes reading AI-generated answers, you practiced reading. If you spend 30 minutes asking AI questions and only reading its responses, you practiced reading. Instead, make yourself answer. Ask AI. Give me one question at a time. I will answer in English. Correct my mistakes after each answer. Now you're producing language. That's much more useful for speaking practice. Technology should increase your opportunities to practice, not become a replacement for practice. Part 13, your 7-day challenge. Now I want to give you a challenge. For the next 7 days, don't worry about becoming fluent. Don't worry about having perfect grammar. Just complete this routine every day. Day 1. Listen to English for 10 minutes. Then speak about what you heard for 5 minutes. Day 2. Listen to a short conversation. Choose 5 useful phrases. Repeat each one several times. Then create your own sentences. Day 3. Talk about your daily routine for 10 minutes. No script. No translation. Just speak. Day 4. Watch a short English video. Pause after each sentence. Repeat it. Copy the pronunciation and rhythm. Day 5. Record yourself speaking for 5 minutes. Listen back. Write down 3 things you want to improve. Day 6. Choose a topic you love. Speak about it for 10 minutes. Don't prepare a script. Just communicate. Day 7. Repeat the same topic you spoke about on day 1. Then compare your recordings. You might notice something amazing. You may not suddenly sound fluent, but you may hesitate less. You may retrieve words faster. You may feel more comfortable. And most importantly, you will have proof that you're improving. Part 14. What if you only have 10 minutes? Maybe you're thinking, I don't have 30 minutes. That's okay. Use 10. 3 minutes listening. 3 minutes repeating. 4 minutes speaking. 10 minutes is better than 0. And here's something important. Don't create a routine so difficult that you quit after 3 days. Create a routine you can repeat when you're tired, when you're busy, when you're not motivated, when your day goes badly. Because your goal isn't to have one perfect English day. Your goal is to build hundreds of imperfect English days. That's where transformation happens. Part 15. The real secret to fluency. So what's the secret? Is it grammar? Grammar matters. Is it vocabulary? Vocabulary matters. Is pronunciation important? Absolutely. Is listening important? Very. But none of these things work well in isolation. Fluency comes from bringing them together through repeated meaningful use. You listen. You notice. You imitate. You speak. You make mistakes. You receive feedback. You try again. You hear more. You speak more. And gradually, what once required conscious effort becomes easier. Research on output has described this as part of the movement from declarative knowledge toward more procedural, usable language ability. That's what you want. Not just knowing English, but being able to use English. There's a huge difference. You can know the grammar rule for the present perfect and still struggle to use it in conversation. You can know 5,000 words and still freeze when someone asks you a simple question. You can understand movies and still struggle to speak. Knowledge is important, but access matters too. And access comes from practice. Final stop waiting. So let me ask you something. How much time have you already spent saying, "I'll start tomorrow. I'll speak when I'm better. I need more vocabulary first. I need better grammar. I need more confidence"? Maybe you've been waiting for the perfect moment. But the perfect moment doesn't exist. You don't need another English course today. You don't need another vocabulary list. You don't need another app. You need to use what you already know. Listen to English. Repeat English. Speak English. Make mistakes. Correct yourself. Try again. And do it tomorrow. Then the next day. Then the day after that. Because one day, something strange will happen. You'll hear an English sentence and understand it instantly. You'll want to say something, and the English words will come faster. Someone will ask you a question, and instead of translating, you'll simply answer. You'll make a mistake and keep talking, and you'll realize, I'm not studying English anymore. I'm actually using it. That's the moment you're working toward. So don't waste another year collecting English knowledge that you never use. Start small. 10 minutes. 30 minutes. One conversation. One recording. One video. One sentence. Then another. You don't need to become fluent today. You just need to give your brain more chances to hear English and produce English. Remember, listen to learn. Speak to improve. Repeat to automate. Make mistakes to discover what you need. And most importantly, don't wait for fluency before you start speaking. Speak your way toward fluency. Your future English-speaking self is not created by one giant study session. It's created by the small decisions you make every single day. So, put your phone down after this video. Choose one English video. Listen carefully. Repeat 5 sentences. Then speak for 5 minutes. Don't worry about being perfect. Just start. Because the English you want to speak tomorrow is built by the English you use today. And if you keep listening, if you keep speaking, if you keep showing up, one day you'll look back and realize you didn't become fluent because you found a magic method. You became fluent because you stopped waiting and started using English.